Hey Ratbags, it's Jade. Today I'm going to go through the big debate, which armors are best. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I'm going to explain a little bit more nuance with some of them, some of the benefits of others, and what some of them really need to be improved by. I did record this on a slightly easier game mode, where basic enemies weren't hitting me as much, so scale it up depending on what you're playing on, whether it's normal or ultra hard. And do remember, it is early access, so a lot of stats will change. Once we start to get a definitive picture of certain things, and whether or not the armor is going to stay the way it is, then you'll see better guides detailing everything you need to know about the actual permanent stats of them. But for now, it's about what ways they can be improved, what armors you should be using, and basically golden versus tech. So Leaf armor's getting a rough ride. Everyone's calling it useless. It kind of is. It's got some stealth mechanics which I'll talk about. It's kind of cheap to make, but cloth in the very early stages, you kind of want it for molotovs and stuff like that. Do you really want to be wasting it on armor? But once you found somewhere to relog and get yourself even more cloth, then why not? It's better having something than nothing. It's meant to be a stealth armor, and it does give you some stealth benefits. Going through a creepy cave, and you'll actually do better if there's only a few of them you can sneak by. The eye icon pops up when you crouch will be almost down to 0. Whenever you crouch in a bush, you can also see that icon go to 0. So that means you're meant to be more hidden, but technically not, because creatures can still see you if they come up close enough. So that's what I would like the Leaf armor to do, give you absolutely 100% ability to go stealth. Maybe there's a tail off, so if your enemy sees you and you try to jump into a bush, it's not going to work exactly great. You have to get out of line or sight or something, just so it's not too OP, but yeah, make us almost silent assassin mutant killer. So you get the idea. If it's absolutely desperate for some armor to stop you getting mauled, then Leaf armor could be good if you can find somewhere to keep reloading lots of cloth and make it. It will give you more stealth than any other armor, but it's not completely foolproof. Next up, hide, which is much simpler to craft and make now than it used to be, where you needed like various different creatures in the original. Now you just need to kill a bunch of deer. Alright, 20 deer if you want to get the full 10 pieces. Plus another 10 cloth, so fairly expensive. And maybe time consuming unless your name is Legolas. Surprisingly, there's no buff against the cold, so that is definitely the thing that needs to be improved, wearing hide. So stocking up on this in the spring and summer months when you can see more deer, or going after the big mooses to hopefully get more, that is probably a good idea. But again, stealth is a bit of a joke in this game, like it's not really the biggest deal going. Most players are just wading in because it can't really sneak up on so many of these, as there's usually 2 or 3 of them lying around. So it's got to have a proper cold debuff. I know we've got clothing for some of that, but that doesn't really work that well either. Or maybe some sort of buff with ranged weapons while crouched wearing hide, like a proper hunter. So on to what I'm sure a lot of you guys might be using, and it's bone armor, because you've got so many bones, and what else can you use them on other than chairs? It does cost quite a bit when you rack up the tape as well as the rope, and again in the early days that's something you want to be keeping for other stuff. Once you get your main tools and stuff crafted and you've got a full supply of other bits, but yeah, you'll have so many bones. There needs to be more use for them obviously in the future. It is stronger than hide and leaf of course, so you take a few more hits. So much stronger than the hide and definitely the leaf. But seemingly with no other benefits. You can forget about stealth clanking around. As far as I can tell, it does nothing to keep you warm or anything like that either. Which I know would make not sense if it did. But you get the idea. Maybe there could be another bonus for it. I'm a bit puzzled out about what that could be. You guys let me know. Maybe it could be more protective against certain hits or with weapons. The overall armor economy is kind of unbalanced. As soon as you start killing creepies, all the other armor becomes obsolete because it's so strong. With the various glitches going on in different caves where you'll get billions of creepies spawning, it should never really be a problem running out. But that is taking a view from a more experienced player. For noobs and people not experienced enough, then yeah, bone armor is going to be your best bet until you hopefully get hold of some more creepy. So players that are really bossing the game will say, oh yeah, it's super easy to get creepy armor and you just keep refilling it. But I would say definitely hold on to some and keep it for big moments. When you've got a big raid appearing from some of the more bigger creepies, or when you're going into more dangerous endgame areas. Obviously, if you're killing mutants left, right and centre super easy, then you'll know then you can take a bunch of that back with you or wear it whenever you want. But you don't really want to be losing tiny little pieces of these just encountering cannibals. So I would switch when you're exploring the world to something else and keep the actual meaty stuff until you get a good supply of it back. Ultimately, as soon as you're in a cave though, all them plans go out the window because you just need to keep some armor on so you don't get rushed by the hundreds that keep spawning in certain caves. Doesn't appear to be no discernible other benefit. I figured maybe it could be something cool that you'd be able to sneak past certain mutants, certain creepies. Maybe not all of them, but how about babies? They would leave you alone if they saw you wearing it all, a bit like The Walking Dead. Cover yourself in the guts of these creatures, surely they might think you're one of them. I do think there should be some sort of penalty wearing it out and about, like whether in summer actually it takes more damage, or spring because maybe it's putrefying and rotting, so that its only real benefit of being good is in the caves. Watch me get a bunch of angry comments now. Don't nerf our armor. Okay, on to the news I'm sure a lot of people want to hear. The best armor is, of course, the tech armor. Yes, it's better than the golden armor, but there is a big caveat to that, which I'm going to explain. In purely stats alone, yes, of course, the tech armor is the best. It's going to give you much more protection. You'll take easily another 2 hits, maybe compared to the creepy armor. Again, comparable to whatever level you're playing at. Of course, tech armor is incredibly expensive to make though. You're going to need battery, you're going to need wire, you're going to need a circuit board. You're also going to need the tech mesh that you've got to print at the 3D printer. And of course more duct tape. So unless you're reloading when you're at one of the 3D printer locations and you happen to have a lot of them resources with you, you're going to run out of tech armor. And you probably will eventually anyway. Until you get a base set up and got plenty of shells, how much could you really store and save? If you're playing the game without kind of cheesing, although it's debatable how really cheesing it is reloading, since if you're going to play the game forever, you are going to need to be able to get new items eventually, since all the other creatures do respawn. But I'll leave that for your moral compass. But yeah, tech armor, what could it be done? Maybe have it powered by batteries. Maybe make it slightly reduced damage, so it wouldn't take as much, but give you certain speed boost or some sort of jump boost, literally like a tech powered Superman, borrowing heavily from Ark here. But you get the idea, give us a super suit. Okay, might be pretty obvious hopefully by now. If you're looking this far, you might not want more spoilers though, so go away if you don't know about the katana and the golden suit. Otherwise, yes, you get the golden suit, you get the katana, and the idea is that you're meant to complete the end game dungeon wearing this gear. You don't have to use the katana, the cross is actually better, but has the actual golden suit got a use outside of the end dungeon? I think it does. I think you just got to remember it goes from being a armor economy based game where you have to craft and make sure you've always got 10 pieces on or whatever, to making sure you got food and medicine. Golden armor doesn't have any segments. It doesn't destroy, it doesn't get any durability loss, it will last forever. It also means you get protected more from fire, as you can see compared to other armors. Well, at least lava anyway. Another reason it's built mainly for that end game dungeon. But I do think it's got a good use. I do think in some ways it's better than a tech armor. Purely because, like I said, you'll be crafting foods and medicine rather than crafting actual armor pieces. It specifically can take more damage from demons than other creatures, showing you the difference between wearing the golden suit and then the tech armor here. Yeah, the tech armor can take a good few chunky hits, but it will eventually break, and then unless you've got a whole bunch more, what are you going to do? You'll be wearing just regular stock armor. It's not like you can drop the golden armor suit anywhere anyway, so I guess only in multiplayer it might be more of an issue about who's got what. But yeah, even from just a regular cannibal, you can see I am taking quite substantial hits. That's why you've got to be more ready to use up health. And as long as you're ready to do that, then yeah, exploring, running around post-game using the golden armor, to me, might be a better bet than wearing some of the other armors, unless you're really into crafting or reloading your game. What do they need to do to improve or maybe nerf it? I think it's probably just about the sweet spot right now. I think it's good, it doesn't do much against other creatures, but specifically for this one. So you're not going to be OP just running around the rest of the island for the next 6 months of early access, bossing everything in just the golden armor. Unless you really do take to heart that health approach. Otherwise, keep your tech armor for specific raids or when you're going into another cave when there's going to be a ton more creepies. And at some point, I'm sure that the golden armor will be needed for the boss fight that will be added in, as we know that's coming as well, or was found in the game files. So there we go, it's not really a debate. The tech armor will keep you more protected against the vast majority of creatures and situations. But once you get the golden armor, don't automatically dismiss it just because you took some damage from some little muddy. If you're not cheesing or using the reload glitch as much as possible, then it's much easier to sustain food than it is getting all the other items needed. Agree, disagree, pop what you want to see improvement wise with the armours and how you'd like to be balanced in the future. Go and check out the guides like I mentioned. I'll see you at Bags for more very soon. Bye bye.